Hello guys, today we're going to be working on a Volkswagen Beetle. It is a 2006 and it comes with a soft top. Alright, so today we're going to try to diagnose why this top is going all the way down and it's not coming back up. We have a fault light flashing on the top of the vehicle and I'm going to show you what that looks like, and I'm going to try to diagnose and fix and repair what's going on with this vehicle. We did the factory reset that you could reset it. My uncle was here previously. He did the reset, he resetted it, and it's still having an issue where the top isn't coming back up. Okay, so I'm going to show you the process that I'm going to do to diagnose what's going on and to get it working again. All right, so it turns out that we have a intermittent problem. So what that means is sometimes it's going to work and sometimes it doesn't work properly. So what it was doing before was when you would lift the roof up, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Okay, when you would pull it all the way back, okay, you would get a fault right here and it would be flashing. Okay, and then when you wanted to raise it back up, it would not work. The fault was there's an actuator in here that locks this whole mechanism down. It's a safety feature for this top. So when you lower it all the way down, and I'm going to do it now, you're going to observe the latch hook this top and secure it down. Okay, right now it locked like how it's supposed to, but it was not doing that before. So I'm going to show you what I did and how I determined that this one was bad and that one, the one in the other side, was good. So this is the actuator that locks down the top. This piece right here comes down and locks this top into place. Okay, this operates with the function of the top. As the top starts to go down, you keep holding that switch. These locks come down and locks the top into place, securing it. Okay, there's limit switches. Okay, these limit switches, okay, tell the function of the equipment that, hey, it's reached where it needs to go, and it will stop working if they are not activating and deactivating. So as this motor turns on and off, this will click on and click off, stating that, hey, the top is secured and locked. Okay, so what I did was I located where these were, okay, and I'm going to show you exactly where they are located in the vehicle. So if you look right here, I've removed this panel and you can see the actuator, this very same one, is right here. And this is a positive and negative for the actuator, for the actual motor, and these wires are for the limit switch. Okay, so what I did was I disconnected the pigtail, okay, just like that, and I'm going to show you how I added power and ground to test if this motor is working. Right now it's working because it's an intermittent problem, but when I was testing it before I ordered the new part, it was not working and it was actually locked up, but the other side was working. But I'm going to show you how to add power and ground to determine which one is bad, so you could order the right side, because there is a left and right side. So what I'm going to be using is these two probes. Okay, you could order these on Amazon, you could pick them up virtually anywhere on the internet. Okay, and I'm going to be probing the top of the wire, and I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like. I'm going to locate the two power wires, and you'll know it's the power ones because they're the thicker wire. Okay, that's the power one, and I have it disconnected from the vehicle. You have one on one side and one on the other side. So for this next section, I'm going to be using a power probe. What this device does is it gives you the ability to add power and ground, okay? So when you press this button right here, we're adding power, and I took off the buzzer, so you can add power and ground via this power probe. So you have the negative side and you have the positive side, and I'm going to show you how I'm hooking this up. And it really, in the beginning, you're trying to figure out the direction of the motor, so it does not matter how you hook it up. You're going to see if it moves or not, okay? You're going to hook it up one way, and then you're going to hook it up the other way, okay? And it should move. If it's not moving, then you know it's bad. And you're going to test both the right side and the left side to determine which one is bad, why you're getting that fault. Because you're going to find out more than likely one of these is bad, okay? Okay, so I'm going to turn on the audible sound for a second. That's telling me that there is continuity, there is a connection from power and ground, okay? It's connecting. So I'm going to go ahead and add power, and you guys are going to observe either the motor work or not work depending on what it decides to do right now. Okay, see, that way it locked. So I'm gonna flip the wires. Okay, so I have flipped the wires, and I'm gonna test it now. Oh, look, it's locked up again. It actually locked up on us. So you can see, okay, I'm adding power and nothing's happening. I could hear the motor's trying to move and it's not. Okay, so I'm going to reverse it again, and you see I've reversed the polarities and it's still not working. Okay, so the motor decided to stop working now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simulate what I'm doing in the vehicle outside so you could see exactly what's going on. So I'm going to use the power probe, and I'm going to probe the back of this wire here, and I'm going to probe the back of this wire right here. Okay, it's telling me there is a connection. I'm going to go ahead and add power. Okay, it doesn't move that way, and I'm going to add power in the opposite direction, and you can see it's working. It's going to reach the limit switch there. It's sending a signal. Okay, that limit switch sends a signal to whatever computer or component is controlling this system. We have reached all the way to the end. Okay, it has, let me see, it looks like it has locked, and I'm going to switch the polarities, and we're going to open it up, and now it went back this way. Okay, so since the one on the vehicle has decided to stop working again, now I'm going to simulate exactly the fault code that we were having. So we turned it on, and I went to go up, and it started working again. And like I said, it's an intermittent problem that it's having. So we're going to go ahead and replace the part, because when you guys were watching me, you could see it wasn't going up or down at a certain time. So the motor's going bad. It's not completely bad yet. It's locking up, obviously. So we're going to go ahead and go with the process of replacing it and putting this thing back together. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and replace it, and I'm going to show you where the bolts are. There's going to be a bolt here and here, okay? And I'm using a T27 star pattern, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and loosen them up. So one of them is here, and one of them it's on the other side. Going to be one up here towards the top, So there's the one that's right here, and then the other one, it's right across from it on the top as well. But in order to get to that, you're gonna have to raise the top up to access that panel, to access that bolt. Okay, so I'm gonna raise the top up and loosen that bolt off. So I decided not to raise it all the way up. I just left enough space so I could access that bolt to remove it. So I'm gonna go ahead so you're gonna slide the actuator down and then lift up, and she comes right out. Okay, so this is what it looks like. You've seen it before. I showed you the other one, and now we're gonna compare parts. Okay, so right now what I'm doing is I'm just comparing the two parts. This is the bad one, and I know it's the bad one because we noticed that the release string that's attached to this bracket right here was broken, more than likely because the previous owner had a problem and the motor locked up on them, and the string was broken from releasing the lever, because apparently you could pull on this string if this stops working and manually unlock the system. Okay, this is the lock right here that comes down and locks the top down, and this is the whole actuator assembly. So what I'm doing here is I'm just comparing the two parts, making sure they look the same. The brackets look like they're going to match the bolts where it's going to be bolted on. The latch looks the same. Everything looks the same on both parts because this is a used part. Okay, it's a good used part. So I'm just comparing the pigtail. I'm going to go ahead. I have this one. I'm going to go ahead and just plug it in just to make sure it's working. Okay, everything looks good. So I'm going to go ahead now and install this part. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys where all the bolts are going to be for this actuator. There's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts all total. So if you don't get 6 out and it's still stuck, you have 5 out, look for another one. It's somewhere in here. Okay, okay, so now it's time to install the part. You're gonna install it the same way you removed it. So you're gonna go and slide it down past the panel, and you're gonna go below this bracket or pillar, whatever you want to call it, and you're gonna lift up into this cubby hole, and it kind of just sits into place. It falls into the right place. Okay, and then you're gonna just start attaching the bolts back on. Never tighten everything down until you have all the bolts in place, and then once you have the bolts in place, then tighten it down. Okay, because you will run into complications where things won't fit. So just start everything by hand and then go back and tighten everything. Now that I have started all of them by hand and all the bolts are on there, I'm going to go ahead and go back and secure everything. So now that everything is secure and fastened onto the vehicle, I'm going to go ahead and connect the pigtail. And a note for you guys, this top will not work if one of the pigtails is disconnected. In order for the top to work, it needs to have the circuit completed. So it's like a safety feature, you would say. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. Okay, and then we're going to test it out. Okay, now that I have everything plugged back up, fastened, everything's installed, we're just going to test it, and I'm going to show you the function of the actuator once again. Top goes down, and there it secures it down. So an easy way to determine whether or not these actuators are actually working, the easiest thing I would say is if you could see the locking mechanism, when you lower the top down all the way down, if it did not lock into place and you have that flashing light in place where it's flashing in front of the dash, and I'm going to show you again, this little top symbol will be flashing, more than likely one of your actuators is bad, and you would do the procedure I just showed you to determine which one is bad and replace it. Alright, so again, this is how to test the actuator if it's working. What I noticed when I looked at the vehicle before the customer came to drop it off today, what I noticed was when I was testing it before, both actuators were not activating, and what I believe is going on is if you have a fault in one, they're both are not going to work, if that makes any sense to you. So if you happen to lower the top down and you see both of them are not locking to the back, it doesn't mean that they're both bad. It means that you have to isolate and remove the pigtail and test it to determine which one is bad, because that's something that I noticed when I was trying to figure out which one was bad, that in my situation they were both not working, and then I had to remove the pigtail, add power and ground, and see which one was working and which one wasn't. Okay, so I hope this helps. I hope this fixes your problem that you're having. If you were tuning into this video, more than likely you're having some type of soft top problem where the top won't go all the way up. There is a factory reset. If the reset works for you, stop, and that'll probably work. I don't have a video on that. There's a ton of videos on that on the internet. Okay, this is just to determine which actuator is bad. Follow along, subscribe, and give us a thumbs up if this helped you out. Thank you.